Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Trading Futures Live. My name is George. I'm here with Franco. It is day 17 for us, May 24th, 2022. Real quick, trading futures is risky. You can lose your initial capital. We are here for educational purposes only, so please do not take our trades. We're here for your education. So let's get right into it. Taking a look at the news today. We had European German PMI early this morning. Today we have orange folders, flash manufacturing PMI at 9:45, so 15 minutes after the open. So that's going to mean for me that I'm going to want to be a little bit more patient than usual. I usually like to wait the first 15 minutes, see what the market wants to do. Now I'm going to need to wait even longer and let that news kind of figure itself out as well. And then something that wasn't on here yesterday is that Fed Chair Powell speaks at 12:20. It is a pre-recorded opening remarks at the National Center for American Indian Enterprise. So it is pre-recorded. There won't be a question and answer session or anything like that afterwards. But we need to be aware of that. And Christine Lagarde speaks, the ECB president, at 2 p.m. Won't have as big enough effect on us, but she does have a big effect on the world market, so something to also keep an eye out for. Tomorrow's also probably the biggest news on the week is really just the FOMC meeting minutes at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So if we look at the overnight now, we've got the four indices to the left, and they are all below yesterday's close. The red dotted line is yesterday's close. They're all down. There was, after the close yesterday, I guess Snap, the CEO commented that their earnings were going to be down quite a bit, and so there was a pretty big gap down on all the markets at the overnight open. Volatility, the VIX is up. Obviously, if the markets are down, the VIX is up. Gold is up. Crude is basically flat from yesterday's close, although it opened down and has recovered, so it's around yesterday's open at at yesterday's close at $1.1040 right now. And the dollar is also below yesterday's open. It broke down at 3 a.m. That's probably due to that European news, but that's the London open there at 3 a.m. So crashed down and has recovered since then to about yesterday's close. And so let's go ahead and look at the charts. Again, on the 5-minute, we have the ES, and it gapped down at the close, and it has been holding steady down. If we go to a higher time frame, let's go ahead and look at the 30-minute. It's basically in. Let's go to the hour. It's even sitting below yesterday's value area of the low of 39.35, and it's sitting below that value area. And we have a naked POC way down here at 38.29. So that'll, if we break to the downside and I end up getting short, that'll likely be one of my targets. To the upside, we don't have any naked POCs until 41.20.50 way up here, but we do have room to go in either direction. If we break out to the upside, we've got nothing really above 39.80 and not much in the way below 39.05. So let's see the range so far on the day. Is from 39, let's call it 60 to 39.10, so about 50-point range on the ES, when the daily ATR right now is above, should be above 100. Let's actually add that indicator and give you an accurate number. I like to do the 10-day and we are at 114 for the ATR on a daily chart for the ES. So we've only moved 50 points so far, so we certainly have room to run if we catch a breakout in either direction. I don't know what Franco's looking at right now. That's going to be, again, like I said, very patient on the ES. You have anything on the NQ so far?
My bias is not short. Like I see, how to penetrate here. So I see the dollar. If the dollar holds there where it is at, then yes, you can show my screen. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me just transfer this. All right, this is the daily for the dollar, right? We had a pretty nice run up here, and now we're retracing back down. But if we go to a lower time frame, right, we can go see where it is at. Like here we had here we had some here. I guess this, yes. All right, so I have this area. Let's see if it was broken. And I use the trading view for the dollar index. I do like that. So yeah, we're coming from this nice balanced area that was created April 26th, and we have the entire London session right there. Remember, for Forex, this is the 3 a.m. candle. It opens at 3 a.m. For Forex, the London session is the one that we want to look at, right? We have this pivot here, and then we have the 3 a.m. and then from there came back up. Now it's retracing back down. If the dollar does not violate this area, then I will be more short bias. But for now, I'm just gonna try to play the sideways range, because I don't have anything trending. Like the dollar is not trending, the bonds are not trending, nor the yen. So we're off. You can take over now.
All right, and we're off. Take a look at the daily chart again. Let's clear some of this up. Actually, let me just... So for me, if we look at a weekly chart, I had this ES going down to about 39.20 on this first move down. It exceeded that. But overall, I do have the market going down further. Again, that's not really anything that I'm going to concern myself with today. With intraday trading, right? I'm not in the trade that long. I'm waiting for the market to tell me what it wants to do today, and then I'm going to.
We have news at
9:45, yeah. So.
And then we have at 10, right? Then we have like
new home sales.
Yeah.
At 10.
Yeah,
the 9:45 PMI is going to be the bigger news, though.
Really? Oh, investing.com has the new home sales as a like similar to the red folder.
Yeah.
3 stars here.
Gotcha.
New home sales is going to be a big
Yeah,
number.
it is a pretty important number for the overall.
Yeah.
For the overall outlook of the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am going to mark this level and this level right now. Although really, if we look at the volume area overnight, I'm going to actually just mark off the two value areas. And so these are going to be my levels for now. So alright, that could be an option. Or this could be an option. I need to get rid of that line. And the same but opposite to the downside. So will it
4 more minutes to assess the
reject this low to go long, or will it break down to go short? And that's it. Ideally, one of those 4 options will be my trade. One of those 4 scenarios will be one of my trades. We're going to take it slow, be patient, and try and find that one good trade. Let's take a look at the internals. So obviously they opened up very negative due to the gap down. So the ADDs, the advanced declines, well into the negatives. For the NQ, it's at negative over 2,000, negative 1,400 for the ES. The ticks opened up at extreme lows. I do find it interesting that at the open, even though they opened up at extreme lows on the advanced decline, that they're still pushing down. Right? Sometimes when you see it open up at an extreme low, it'll recover. It'll recover in the opening moments, but no recovery there on the advanced decline. So I'm not in a huge rush because of the news, but with that advanced decline pushing down and a pullback now on the tick chart, that would be a potential signal to get in short, but we'd like to see it break down a little bit more.
The volume looks a lot lower. Now we have news. Only the market will wait for that, but let's see how this goes. Remember, for the breakouts to keep trending, we need volume. We need the volume, because if we don't have the volume to break those areas, we're just gonna stay sideways. Looks like the market wants to push lower. Hmm?
Yeah.
It's like the natural overall trend right now is a lot easier to short than to go long. It wasn't like that 6 months ago though. I had a call yesterday by one of our followers, and he was asking, on my recap, I show the share bar, right? I don't show, it's not that I don't show, my trades are put in a share bar chart, in a volume chart, and I was trying to find if TradingView has them, but apparently they don't. But later today, stick to the end of the this live, I will just show what's the difference between a volume chart. There's a tick chart, there is a volume chart, there's a range chart. There's several different charts that you can set up your platform. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to type it in the chat. Ricardo, tranquilo.
New 5-minute.
Yep.
Now, if we didn't have the news, I would potentially be interested in a short after this pullback right now. But like I said, I'm going to hold off for the news. My trades usually last longer than 5 minutes, and the news is in 5 minutes, so I don't need the news to stop me out unnecessarily if the direction changes due to the news. So now if the news was maybe at 10 o'clock instead of 9:45, then I would still be trying to stop this trade right now. But we're looking for that high expectancy, high probability trade, and this just isn't it with the news in 5 minutes.
The thing with the news reports is that you don't know what's the volatility gonna be, right? You just want to be aware. We might have the breakout with the news though. The overnight low is a very sensitive point, especially when we dropped already 2%. Because overnight is much more easier to move the market. So if we had a big, order, why the market didn't drop 4%? Because there were orders sitting there stopping the price. So when you think about that, like you have a huge order that caused this gap, right? The gap down. Now it went to a certain point and stopped dropping. What happened there? The buyers came in, or were big orders sitting there, right? So the overnight high and overnight low are sensitive points that you have to be aware of. 2 more minutes. Yeah, the spread is already, larger. I do have an area here at 11,709 that I wanna. It's a tradable reaction. The tick chart is showing an uptrend. Do you see it, George?
Yeah.
Tick chart is signaling uptrend, and the market is dropping. So I don't want to be overly aggressive with the long, but I need to recognize that the long has something here. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take this, and the news is up. You guys can notice the volatility, right? It's just temporarily. Alright, so we got to the zero line in the tick chart. I will only put this trade if it doesn't break the trend line. If it gets to my entry point and is close to the trend line here in the tick chart, I will show it in the review if this is the case. I will show there in the review how I use the tick chart. But remember, I'm not biased long. I'm biased to the market being more sideways after this big drop. But everything can change. Right now, the tick chart is showing strength. I have no zones formed. I have a zone that was created 3 days ago. This was when? May 20th. When was May 20th?
The bond yields are like gapping down.
Yeah. The bonds are like flying, bro. 30 years is almost 1% up. Alright, now the trend line is holding. I want to see this dropping more, and I'm going to be very, very aggressive here.
As will I. If I see it, if I see a push of the tick to the downside, confirming the downward trend, I'll be likely in short on a pullback as well. I like that both on the tick Q and the tick for the ES that they pulled back to the zero line, and that has held. Right. The ADDs are in the negatives, although the ADD on the ES is trying to roll over to the upside, but not with very much enthusiasm. Not with very much enthusiasm.
Long you can show my
2 minutes left in this 5 minute.
You want to show my screen?
I do like that close on the 2 minute. Man, if I would have been on that chart. I maybe in there. 10 to 26 still puts my stop above the pivot. I'm not going to rush into this, but you could already be in there. Yeah, yours is on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You could be in this as well with Franco.
Yeah, this is a quick tradable reaction. I do understand this is a very sensitive point and it can keep dropping, although the tick chart is showing some strength. Let's see how this goes. This is a very, very unusual trade. It's a tradable reaction, right? What is my 1-to-1? I want to be very aggressive with this trade. 17 points. So this right here. The red line, if we get to the red line, I will be moving my stop. So a lot of selling pressure, but remember, when buyers come into the market and there's a lot of selling pressure, the sellers need to, okay, so I'm gonna go break even, right? I'm gonna go break even here. 1-to-1. Let's see if we can get to 2-to-1. I don't want to, yeah, that's not a good sign, and the tick is not making new highs. Let's see how this goes.
I'm gonna be in this short soon.
Yeah, that's the short is the better one, but I wanted to try this. That's fine. I'm out break even. This is a tradable reaction, and it made its purpose, right? Of a tradable reaction. I just want to see if I could retake this.
The VIX is breaking up. I'm in this.
I wouldn't be so sure. Like I want to see a larger pullback for me.
I put it back on my screen. So I'm in this short, guys. Would have liked to have been in it a little higher, but I do like that last 5-minute pullback, whether it was the pullback or not, or whether I don't like that this doesn't have much follow through to the downside. I don't like to see it sitting here at this level for too long before it continues to take off. So, but we had the VIX breaking up, the ADDs kind of flattening out, and I'd gotten in on this pullback of this tick back to the zero line. So I'd like to see that zero line hold on the tick chart and it drop back down to retest one of those extreme lows is really what I'm looking for. I do not want to see this come up anywhere even near this positive 750 line.
You're in the NQ or the
ES.
ES?
Unfortunately, the VIX has completely turned around. I mean, this was a full green bar when I got in. The dollar is dropping pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing when we have demands from other days, and we need to let the market breathe.
So this is not a good signal for my trade, especially that tick pushing up into positive territory. We'll see if it turns around and goes down from there. Let's see what the volume is on these candles. Volume is quite high on this last buying candle there. See if this can hold.
Where's your stop at? I have 782.
No, I'm on
the
yeah, I'm on ES. It's my stop is just above the pivot of the pullback. Now, I did follow my rules. It broke down, right? I called it out. It broke down, gave me a pullback. I'd like to be in short, right? And I have to live with it. It is what it is.
Yeah. That's the most important thing. You have to have a plan. And we're pretty much flat with the algos. We have.
Yeah, one short.
That's
On
the only
the,
thing we have.
yeah. It's the only trade it's taken so far. One short on the ES.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much where I got in here. "30 seconds left in this 5-minute candle. Certainly want to see it closing bearish, to say the least. And we'd love to see this tick come down. Let's adjust that trend line there.
Yeah, that's good. That broke that trend line.
Yeah, I'd like to see it come and test an extreme. But I'd like to see it come and test that extreme after this 5-minute candle closes. 5 seconds left. New 5-minute.
Nice.
Now even before my target is unfortunately the overnight low, which, as Franco said before, I mean it's a definite
Interesting point of
tradable reaction area.
Yeah.
That always needs to be considered, but my 1-to-1 is just below it, and it is what it is.
That's the beauty of this. You can make money on the shorts, you can make money on the long. Before my trade, the tick chart was showing a lot of strength. Now after my trade, now it's showing a lot of weakness. So most likely your trade is gonna work. And I say most likely because we have no assurances, right? We just play probabilities.
Yes, sir.
Bro, but look how tech is getting hit so hard. Like YM is minus 0.5%. NQ is almost minus 3%. Then I figure probability. Yeah,
and the Russell. And the Russell is down a lot as well.
2%. But definitely Snap is taking a toll on Roblox minus 12%. Coinbase minus 9%. Toast minus 7%. What about, I want to see Tesla and Google minus 7%. ARK Investing minus 6%. All these people they're getting hammered. Tesla minus 5%. Airbnb minus 5%. Netflix minus 5%. PayPal minus 4%. Amazon minus 3.7%. Apple minus 2%. Look, tech is getting destroyed.
Alright guys, these internals, the VIX pushing back up after this pullback on the VIX that we survived. Needed to break that level there. The ticks are pulling back right now. The ADDs are still holding to the downside. Let's rearrange these charts a little bit. Give us a better vantage point. Give us a better feel of the direction here.
We have the next 7 minutes. See how this goes.
And we have 1:30 left in this first 30 minutes. I'm not going to be super excited about the volatility. that the new 30 brings.
It's chilly today, huh?
Yeah. The NQ is already clearing quite a bit. Definitely the better short today is the NQ. Patience, people. Hopefully you guys haven't been over trading. Hopefully you guys made a plan, and hopefully you guys are sticking to it, right? So that's very important in this trading, being able to control your emotions to follow your plan. And your plan doesn't mean you're going to win every trade, right? So you have to understand that, take your winners with your losers, but stick to the plan. Easier said than done, right? Do as I say, not as I do.
You do well, though.
I have been. This YouTube is keeping me in check. Alright guys, that was T1. Can't complain about that. But we do have a new 30-minute candle. And I'm not a huge fan of the volatility at new candles on a higher time frame, because the pullback can be larger. So, but it is what it is. That's why I'm not in any rush to move my stop yet. So if this pulls around and stops me out, it will be for a loss. Obviously not a full 1 hour loss because I've already hit T1 with one contract, but I will be losing some money. But with this new 30-minute candle, I'm not interested in moving this to break even, because it could very easily pull back up into this level, stop me out, break even before coming down. Now it can also just come back and stop me out and continue on to the upside. But all the internals are saying short right now, so I need to let this play out as long as possible. One thing I will be doing is if and when we get to my T2, I will be moving my T3. I'm not going to do so yet, but I do believe this might have room to run further down and test potentially last week's low. Like I said, the ATR we hadn't even done half an ATR at the open, and so this could potentially move another 50, 60, 70, 80 points on the ES to the downside. So we're
38.40 is extension. Damn.
We're gonna let this
60 points more.
We're gonna certainly let my T3. We're certainly gonna make some adjustments to my T3. There we go. Now we did also have news at 10, but didn't affect much. Let's see what it was. New home sales. Wow. Wow.
Came lower, right?
A lot lower.
Yeah.
So 751,000 expected. 591,000.
Minus 16%.
Yeah. So minus 160,000 new home sales.
Yeah, this is getting interesting.
And the Richmond Manufacturing Index,
that is not bueno.
Positive 9 expected, negative 9.
That is not bueno for us.
So, no real good economic indicators for the market. Nothing good in the news. A Fed that's tightening money supply.
They haven't started yet.
That needs to sell off their balance sheet.
Look, they haven't started.
Yeah, and they haven't even started any of that. So, ouch.
Yep.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. And that's why on the weekly chart, I mean, this was my first level that it reached on this push down, was this basically 3,900 level on the ES. But overall, I'm expecting, like, my overall push to the downside is to this 3,500 area on the ES. Potentially even further, but this is my next level if we get any sort of a bounce. Is down all the way to 3,500 on the ES. Now, as more people become bearish in the market, that's certainly a chance for the banks to rip everyone's face off. Give a nice push to the upside, a short squeeze on everybody before coming back around. Now, the interesting thing to me was in listening to the news and other YouTube channels, everyone was kind of expecting that on Thursday or Friday of last week, and it didn't. We haven't had much of a push up.
Not really.
There was certainly not a major short squeeze where they didn't let anybody breathe. Normally you see in a short squeeze like this 3-4 up days in a row, not giving anybody a chance to breathe on the short squeeze on the way up.
We had that when? In March, right? Or April?
March 15th there was our last major run up. I think that was like 10 or 12% in like 2 weeks on the NQ anyway.
NQ went up 10%.
Yeah, like in a week or two, right?
In a week.
Yeah. Alright guys, we're still in this short. I still have not moved my stop. I will move my stop if it hits T2. Then I will reduce my risk on my final 2 contracts. But I took 5 contracts on this micro ES. Target 1 we got out of 1 contract, and then I have 2 contracts on my next 2 targets. See the internals, the VIX continues to push up. We survived this pullback because I got in when this red candle was near the top. It pulled back after I got in. We survived that, and now we've been in it for this entire push up on the VIX. The VIX is is screaming high volatility right now. The ADD continues to come down. The ticks have held below the 0 line. Certainly like to see that. Getting a nice little push on the tick. Let's go look at our chart and see. Alright, that was T2. Fantastic. Now I'm going to go to a higher time frame. I'm going to go, let's go look at the 60 minute. And like I said in the when we first came on live, I have this POC, this naked POC down here at 38.29. Franco has his ATR extension at about 38.40, just above that line, and I have this zone here that starts at 38.50. So what I think I'm going to do is, I have 2 contracts left. I'm going to leave one contract at the T3 where it's at right now, but I'm going to put another one at 57.25. We're going to try and get another 20 points out of one of these contracts. I need to reduce this to 1, and we're going to go 57.25. I'm going to put a buy limit there, and I'm going to reduce this one to 1, which it won't let me do. So we're going to swap these two around. This one's going to be 77.25, and I'm going to put this one at 57.25, near these lows, but I've got a level there. I'm not sure whether it'll make it all the way to that naked POC. This is a little bit higher probability for me. We've reduced our risk. Go back to the 5-minute and continue to let this trade play out.
Yeah, no pullback, bro.
Patience, people.
I haven't gotten in, bro. Amazing.
Now, one thing I do want to look out for is on this 2-minute chart. Did have a volume spike on the last 2-minute candle, but there were no buyers in this volume spike. It was just a push down through a level. So now if I get another volume spike like this and it's a buying candle, that'll start to give me pause in this trade, that might be the end of this run before it gives us a pullback, and I will have to make a decision on whether or not to move my stop to break even. I'm still, all it did when it hit T2 for me was it reduced my risk in half, but it did not, it has not moved it yet to break even. I'm still giving this as much room as possible. Right, break even isn't going to pay any of my bills. Now this volume spike, even though this was a selling candle with not what seems to be not too many buyers, its volume spikes still give me pause. They still give me pause that this is an area where they need to figure something out. So I want to continue to keep an eye on the internals. We're getting a push to the upside on the tick right now. Got a couple minutes left in this 15-minute candle. I certainly don't want to see the tick making new highs.
Bro, we're gonna drop 5% with non-stop today. I need a retracement so I can get in. Fuck. So annoying.
Franco needs me to get stopped out so he can get in.
No. No, it's not much of a pullback what I want.
Yeah.
Now the also is coming to an area.
either way you guys look at it, for me, I have one R locked in. I stated my plan, followed my plan. Didn't necessarily mean that it was going to work out. I could have potentially gotten in a little early and could have gotten stopped out before this this came down, but that's why I like to give my trades quite a bit of room, especially because I don't take limit orders, right? I'm not marking any smaller time frame zones that I'm taking limit orders on. I'm waiting for the chart to pick a direction, and then I'm trying to find a way in so that I can be a part of the momentum move, either to the upside or the downside, in this case the downside, right? And so I'm getting in on market orders usually late to the game, so I have pretty big stops. Alright, the trailing stop just moved into positive territory for me, so right now we're locking in a little over an R. I'm not a huge fan of that trailing right there, but this has already moved quite a bit to risk. Right, we're up unrealized with these two contracts right now over $300. If I leave my stop back here, we'd be risking all $300 plus even a little bit more. Right now we're risking probably about $250 of that $300. Real quick, what are the other four markets doing? They're dropping finally. The Dow broke the overnight low. The dollar's reversing back to the upside. Let's check out these internals. The VIX continues to scream up. ADD is coming down. And really, what I'm keeping my biggest focus on is this tick. What I don't want to see from the tick is a huge push up here into positive territory. That's going to give me pause. Maybe even to the point where I close one of my remaining two contracts.
Step of a liquidation day.
Yeah.
Look, the snap is dropping 40%. 40. Fuck.
Now I am surprised this hasn't moved my stop again, it being so close to T3. So I was risking 250 in this trade. We've got that locked in so far. Come on, come on, come on. Jesus. Another Franco target. See the volume on these 2 minutes. Oh, we got another volume push to the downside. I mean, wow. Nothing but volume to the downside. I mean, and that is quite a bit of volume. That's volume even higher than at the open. Another reason that we didn't want to trade right there near the news, like Franco said, we'd likely see possibly higher volume after the news, because everyone was kind of sitting on the sidelines. All right. That's a good day for me. Can't complain about anything so far. I've got one contract left. That's already hit my 3R target. Sorry, that's actually my 4R target. So this trade's already gone 4R for me. I've locked in over 2R. And my final target is at a distance of 6R, which will potentially yield me 4R on the day.
Nice.
So right now I'm looking at either 2R or 4R. And we're gonna let this play out. You have any?
I have a couple of areas that I want to jump into. See if this can retrace back up. But it doesn't want to, like, this is too shallow. It's too shallow for me. I have no leg out. And because I need a leg out, I need it to be far from where it is. Now in
And the frickin' algos have only taken one. They're still missing that one.
That's what I'm saying. We should be like 10.
Let me double check over here.
No.
Are they off or something, or what's going on here?
No. Oh, I don't know.
No, they're not.
They're all on?
Yeah, I haven't touched any of them. That's like super annoying.
Yeah. Now the NQ got to an area of balance. See that?
Yeah.
The low from the wick.
Super annoying. Now it's gonna, and in the next it goes another 20 points or something, and then it's gonna go in short on 2 after it's already moved 250 points. All right, let's check out the volume here. 30 seconds in this 2-minute. Wow. It hit that target quite accurately without having to deal with this pullback. Anything? Where are you most interested?
I do have 638, but the tick chart is not talking to me.
Yeah, what are these internals saying? Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, so new highs on the tick chart, and that's what I was talking about. That's what I don't want to see. I mean, certainly we just want to see this zero line holding for the most part as far as where these candles are closing. But that's a new high for the ES there on the tick chart. Getting a little bit of a reversal on the VIX as well as the dollar. Oof, very nice. It's a heck of a push down right there on the tick chart, back below the zero. Nice, Ricardo. Ricardo says, great entry. Thanks, guys. I'm positive with options.
Nice.
You're going to have to teach me your options soon. We're going to have to get together, Ricardo. Because I'd like to start getting into options myself. But it's been like 2 years at this point. Holy crap. It really has been like 2 years since I did any options at all.
2019, right?
No, 2020.
2020?
Yeah.
We were at the Ross office?
Yeah. But to me, that was like last year.
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago.
Pandemic was like
Shit.
quick.
You want to stay on, Franco, or?
No, let me go through the different charts and we can close this thing.
You want me to transition?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me transfer this. Alright, so here. Alright, so here is where I trade off, right? This is the look, I have all this tab down here, right? So what I like to do is on the minute chart, I like to see just the regular trading hours, right? So if you see here, when I open up these menu, my platform, which is Ninja, has several options for me: minute, second, range, tick, volume, right? So I'll go over each of these. Like minute chart, we all know what is minute. Second, range. The range is every candle will close at whatever range or move that we design. And let's see this. Like for instance, if we want to see a candle every 30 points in the case of the NQ, so we go ahead and we change this. So if we measure all these candles, it has to have 30 points, right? So how much is 30 range? Oh no, this is a different measure. This is a different measure. Where it is? Points up is 76, 83. Wow, I guess this is not the same range for the trade station though. Let's pass this one. Tick chart is every, and here's the difference between tick chart and volume chart. Tick chart is every time the contract is filled. For instance, if you have an order for three contracts, right? Let's say you want to sell here, sell 2, right? And they fill you with the same seller or the same buyer here, then that is 1 tick, right? But if your order has to be executed with different sellers or buyers, that's more than 1 tick, right? So I don't like to use this because tick is just number of transactions, but not number of contracts. Because if you have one seller selling 10 contracts and one buyer buying 10 contracts, you will have there just 1 tick because they match the orders, right? So what I like to do is this volume chart. So and you see the volume here. This is the volume, right? It's 500 contracts. per candle. You guys can see how the volume is filling up every time it fills up to 500 contracts. A new candle opens up, right? The price is the same. Price records every transaction here, right? But the candle closes every time the 500 contracts are filled. You see that? 500 contracts each. So what I like to do here, why I use volume chart, because volume chart for me gives you a more accuracy at the time of selecting an area. For instance, here, let's go here. What if I mark up this area, right? Okay, you guys seeing this, right? Right, what if I go to a 1 minute chart? If I come to a 1 minute chart, you have a lot of sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes sideways, right? Okay, but I have no area here. I have no shape. The geometry of the shape is not, for me, is not what I want to see if I want to trade this long. So let's say I go back to the 500 and try to see if I can find a shape, right? Well, here I might find this. I might find this here, right? I have a rally, the retest, and the leg out, right? So on the 1 minute, it's harder to find them. That's why I use the volume chart. This is something that I personally use. Like George just used time frame, right? You use just time frame, George.
Correct.
Yeah. So different traders like to use different things. I got very comfortable with these volume charts, so I get to use them, and they have worked for me. It's just a matter of you having a system that works with the volume chart. Like I said, Rich, I told you that I was going to see if TradingView has them, but they don't. And like I told you yesterday, I think it's because the volume is different among other brokers. So if you go to TradeStation, the volume chart is slightly different because they have different volumes, right? It's not very different, but it's slightly different. But at the end of the day, is whatever it makes you feel more comfortable in your trading. And I think with that, if that answers your question, Michael, yeah, but there's a difference with 500 volume chart and is there? Yeah, there's a preference for me. I don't use. I do use the volume chart because it records the real volume per candle, whereas the tick chart it records the number of transactions. Meaning, like I said, if I have a seller selling 10 contracts and they match a buyer buying 10 contracts, that will record just one tick, right? If you have a seller selling 10 contracts and you have 3 or 4 buyers filling up that order, then it shows 4 ticks, right? Due to this volume that we're living on right now, the VIX is very high and the volume is very high, and with more high frequency trading matching the orders, the tick chart looks somehow similar to the volume chart, but I got accustomed to the volume chart. But like I've said, like whatever you guys make you feel better and you feel that it works for you, that's what you should be using, right? Like I've always said, like different traders, like I wanted to go long, when the market started to drop and I had the opportunity to make money. Josh was short biased and he made money. So anybody can make money at any time in the market. That's the beauty, right? What you need is a plan, the right execution, the right mindset, right? And the right risk and reward ratio or risk management, whatever. I do not. I thought I knew what is this range. Well, I used to use a range chart in TradeStation like a few years ago. I didn't find any edge with it, but I thought it was the same here in Ninja. Apparently it's different, so for tomorrow I will be having this information to explain what is a range chart. But I think we can leave it like that for now. See you all guys tomorrow. My recap is if I take any other trade, I will show it and I will try to record it. And if I don't, on my recap, it's going to be just one break even.
I'm going to just pull up mine real quick again. Alright guys, so I have 2R locked in, and this will be like 3.5R is what it'll end up being if it hits my target. But it was, again, good trade. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with my day. Made a plan, followed the plan. Plan has worked out thus far. Was minus 1R yesterday. I actually took a trade in the afternoon and made about half an R because it hit T1, but then it stopped me out break even. So I made a little bit of money back yesterday. So I was down about half an R, and I have at least 2R locked in. So that'll put me at plus 1.5 for the week so far. Can't complain about that. And we'll have a recap later, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.